The answers are pretty simple. It's just the willingness and the discipline to implement the answers. About 2 months ago, I believe, it was Senator Coburn that took his fellow senators to task in the chambers when they were in negotiations or in debate about raising the debt ceiling, the additional $1.2 trillion that was the third increment of the agreement that had been reached with the Obama administration last August. And he was chastising them that they were only dedicating 2 hours to discussing a debt limit increase of $1.2 trillion. 2 hours. He argued for something more than the 4 or 5 minutes they were going to give him to talk about it. He actually ended up getting about 15 minutes, I believe. It's a great piece of video. Go to YouTube and just look it up and listen to it for yourself. But he said that we're getting ready to pass this $1.2 trillion debt increase, and us, in the United States Congress, the United States Senate, hasn't canceled a single program. We haven't reduced spending in a single program. So how is it that we can go to the American people and say we need to increase our debt limit? That's easy enough to do. And yet we don't have the discipline to decrease spending in any program in the entire U.S. budget. So his Back in Black plan identified $9 trillion in savings due to redundancies, wasteful spending in the federal government. $9 trillion. When the super committee was meeting over those few months between August and November or December, they often referred to that plan, but just couldn't bring themselves to enact any of the measures that Senator Coburn was recommending. So we have on the table right now one plan that has been methodically put together in great detail that would save the country $9 trillion. The answers are already out there. The Paul Ryan budget that has just been passed by the House is also rife with all kinds of solutions, about half the amount that Senator Coburn identified, but again, redundancies and wasteful spending that can be identified right now. So if those two things were grappled, and I would be the biggest champion of things and solutions that are already in place, and championing those through the various subcommittees and committees in Congress to implement those things, there are some immediate savings that would reduce our debt right away. The second big aspect is tax reform. Our current tax code has to be removed and eliminated. It cannot be reformed. It needs to be replaced. Whether it's a fair tax or a flat tax or debates the pros and cons of each, I'm a fair tax advocate. What that does is that returns every dollar earned by a corporation or an individual to their pocket, and then tax is taken at the consumptive end when you buy something. So all of the exceptions that lead half of America to not paying any taxes at all go away. It actually increases revenue to the federal government for those programs that would survive the $9 trillion cuts that would be coming. But that's the quickest way I can think of to reduce the debt, reduce the deficit spending, and bring fiscal discipline back to Congress.